Happy New Year, Capricorn. It's Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au with a compressed view of 2020. I call it 2020 vision. Foresight rather than hindsight is better. And the year kicks off on January 11 with a very, very important eclipse taking place here in your 7th house of relationships. You see this little, I call it the headphones. This is the karmic North Node, what we call Rahu in Hindu astrology. And the eclipse always takes place near or on these eclipse points, these nodal points. The word relationship is interesting because it has to do with how you relate. Here, when we see the nodes transiting a particular part of the horoscope, it shows us where there is an immense desire. And this transit takes about 18 years. It's not quite as long as the Saturn transit, which is 29 and a half years. It's a little longer than this, the 12-year Jupiter cycle. So therefore it is a significant one, and transiting here through your relationship area up until May 5th focuses a lot of your attention on relationships. Not to mention the fact that I already did in December. This whole identity area of your horoscope, your sun sign, has been jam-packed with all these planets and continues to be so for a while. So of course your identity and the relationships you have are inextricably linked, so you'll be working through that. Often the node shows us where the desires are huge, but also where they're unfulfilled, or where they are fulfilled temporarily. We get all excited, oh, we've got a new job, fantastic, settle in, big income. Then we realise we've got the boss from hell there. So I usually liken the North Node and the South Node to Indian givers. That's probably not a politically correct term. Given and taken. So the South Node also shows us where you have to lose something in life. And so these are significant lessons for you. As long as you're aware, you can use this to your advantage. On March 22nd, Saturn steps away from this Capricorn sun sign for just a little while, up until July 4, bringing your attention to finances throughout that whole cycle. Then it retrogrades back. Maybe you'll learn something about the way you're working, what it is you're desiring in your finances. And that has some effect in shaping who you are as a person, which I think what these transits are all about right now, in concert with this relationship side of things. There are 6 eclipses in 2020, so I'm going to focus on these because I think that is very telling. On June 6th, 12th house eclipse is a shedding of a lot of dead weight in your life. So if I could say to you, if it's the relationships that you're looking to enhance and improve, letting go of stuff, especially events in your mind, hurts, all of that sort of stuff needs to be jettisoned once and for all. And I think that's the June 6th eclipse. June 21, a solar eclipse back here, reiterating what we saw on January 11. The solar eclipse is very important because it rules the 8th house. Now, the 8th house is the house of losses, shared resources, psychological transformation, and death. In the system of astrology that I'm reasonably well versed in, the Hindu stellar system, the 8th house having any connection with the 7th shows a death of that relationship, or a potential for big changes that transform the relationship. Because this has to do with money, and we saw that Saturn at that time was transiting through this 2nd house of finances, I would say that much of the complexion of your relationships this year, Capricorn, are going to change over the issue of money. And we know that you're one of the most pragmatic financial signs of the zodiac. But it could be that you have to shift your attitudes to money this year in order to improve the quality of your relationships overall. The June 21 solar eclipse is then followed by I told you, the transit of Saturn retrograding back into Capricorn, and then a July 5th transit of the moon and a lunar eclipse here in your sun sign. Again, we're toing and froing back between these two signs. You can see why I don't need to go too much further than these few signs of your horoscope to see where the bulk of the energy and the pointers are for what is important for you in 2020. November 30 and December 15, we see a slight shift now. A lunar eclipse here and a solar eclipse here respectively. So this is the 6th house and 12th house. You have to watch your health in the second half of the year, particularly the last quarter of 2020, Capricorn. 6th house has to do with your work practices and your health. It also has to do with the debts that you owe the world and the quality of the relationships you have with the people you work with. The 12th house is about letting go of things that are of no longer of value to you. It's the past in some ways, but in Vedic astrology it is also the future life, where you are going, not just in the future life in terms of rebirth. This has to do also, I think, in terms of where you want to be in your life this time around. Are you happy with where you are? These are the questions that will be thrown up by that last eclipse of December 15 in the sign of Sagittarius, your 12th house. December 17 and 19th are also significant final transits of 2020, where Saturn and Jupiter respectively move into your 2nd house. And that does set the trend for a very, very big, potentially positive opportunity for you in your financial and earning capacity. When these two planets jointly transit a house or a sector of the zodiac, it's indicative of that area really lifting up in your life and being predominant in the affairs that you are currently managing. It will outshine anything else in your life. And so therefore, that's a precursor to what you might expect in 2021. I'm not going to go into that now. We'll leave that for January 2021. But this is all good. And as long as you can get those relationships on track and you can understand the art of relating, then I think this 2020 is going to be a very, very significant year for you. I've written up 3,000 words for 2020 for you, Capricorn, at my site at astrology.com.au. That's going to fill in a lot of the gaps and touch on areas that I haven't addressed here because I focus mainly on those eclipses, as you can see. So do take a look at that at astrology.com.au. Leave your notes here, your comments. You can address personal issues with me if you like as well. It's probably a key time to do that now, just as the year is starting. If you'd like me to address your horoscope in a one-on-one, drop me a line and we can take that up in personal emails.